Hi everybody, I'm back. I'm back because it's been crazy for me. I've had like numerous interactions that I just would rather not have. So anyway, I know that Mercury is in retrograde, right? And we've got 4 more days of that. And Mercury retrograde really does affect communication. So there's that. But then I was thinking, well, what else is in retrograde? I'm going to share with you. I found a lot. So I found a bunch of different sites saying a bunch of different things. I don't understand how there can be so many sites with so many different, some sites are saying that there's 4 planets in retrograde in October. Some sites are saying there is, 7 or more. I didn't really want to take the time to delve in to find out what site was like the best site for me to actually look at. I just kind of scooted through a few of them. And here's a little bit of what I found, which sort of makes sense. When I think of like the energy over the last 6 months and the way, the things that I've observed with people's behaviors and the way I've been feeling personally, and just like a lot of those types of things. So here's what I've got. I have that in April on the 27th, Pluto went into retrograde. Okay, so Pluto in retrograde, that's the planet of creation and destruction. Is that starting to send off little bells and whistles to you? Because that sure did to me. And that finally came out of retrograde on the 6th of October. So that made a lot of sense to me. It honestly did. And then I also found that Saturn went into retrograde on May 23rd, and that came out of retrograde on October 10th, 10/10. That's maturity, discipline, and karma. Okay, so from May through October, we've had maturity, discipline, and karma going on, as well as the planet of creation and destruction. And then in June, Jupiter went into retrograde, and that's in retrograde until the 18th of October. And that's inner growth. And inner growth doesn't always feel good. And how do we grow? Usually from, challenges or lessons or being incredibly introspective, but inner growth. So, wow, you just can't make this up. So that's been in retrograde from June 20th and will continue to be in retrograde until the 18th, inner growth, Jupiter. And then on June 25th until December 1st, Neptune's been in retrograde. Now, when Neptune is in retrograde, its purpose is to help us see clearly. But we also have these other planets in retrograde that might be triggering things within us that might have stopped us from seeing clearly or whatever, I mean, it looks like we've got a lot of challenges here as far as our retrogrades go. Now, like I said, Mercury is in retrograde, and that's going to be in retrograde for 4 more days. And that's the planet of communication, cognitive function, and logic. And like I said, I've had, I actually didn't engage, which is, I don't want to say it's unusual for me, but sometimes if I get ticked, I engage pretty quickly, and I have a sharp tongue. But I just shook my head. I just shook my head at some of the things that I've had said to me. Just kind of shook my head and thought, wow, I wonder if this person even knows what they sound like or look like right now. But I didn't engage. I just didn't find them worth my energy or my time. But I can see now that if Mercury's been in retrograde, that might have had an impact in their communication skills. And then Uranus, from August 19th until January 18th, Uranus is in retrograde, and that's like a personal rebellion, you know, that's really going within and learning, really getting to know yourself, which I know that my guides right from the beginning of this year have stated that this is going to be a year where we really get to know ourselves. Sort of breaking down that programming and whatnot, and really getting to know who we are. So then we also, it says we have Chiron in retrograde from July 15th to December 19th. And that brings up insecurities. So, wow, it's no wonder we've seen just poor behavior. I would classify a lot of what I've seen, heard, bore witness to, really poor behavior. Really, really poor behavior. I only had one child, but I raised a neighborhood of children. And one of the things that was a big lesson that I taught the kids, you know, when kids are playing together, they're not always very nice to each other, right? And respecting each other's differences and opinions and feelings was something that we made a priority here. And I've spent this last couple of years looking at adults who could probably stand to have a good sit down in my living room, and have me work some things out with them like I did the little tiny children. Seriously. So I've just, I've felt like this last couple of years has been a shit show, honestly, with just people's behaviors, and I haven't found it all that enjoyable. So what I've done personally is I just stick to the people I do enjoy. It's become a very tiny circle. Very tiny. But it's how I've been able to maintain joy in these last couple of years. And we need to have joy in our lives, especially when we're going through things like this. So with all of these planets in retrograde, and some of them not coming out until December and January, I thought we'd do a reading. I've really tried to be very aware of how I'm interacting with people and what I say to them. And, you know, not wanting to say things that I'll regret later. And I've just tried to be really conscious of that. Because I feel like when we finally move out of this ridiculous pattern that we're in, I don't want to have anything that I said to somebody be a source of pain for them, I guess. So I'm just really trying to be conscious of the way I talk with people. And so because of that, I've chosen to just not talk with a lot of people. And I have said some things. I mean, it wasn't that long ago I told one lady I didn't know her and I didn't care to. You know, let me tell you. And I don't know you and I don't care to ever know you, I said. And that's with me trying to be conscious of the way I'm treating people. So we've all done it, and we've all, it's just been really, the last 2 years have really been kind of a time that, they've just been kind of a time. I'll just leave it at that. But communication, the communication. Just recently, in the last week, I think so, in the last week, maybe two, no, in the last week, it's all transpired within the last 7 days. I've had several people say things to me where it was clearly their shit and not mine, and I did shake my head and I didn't engage because I didn't find them worth my energy or my time. But if I'm having this issue, if I've been encountering places where I've really had to make a choice in how I was going to behave, then I'm sure someone else out there is too. And I'm going to do us a little reading. A little reading around the energies of this retrograde. So let's just ask the cards, and then I'm going to pull a positive card for us. But let's just ask the cards. I mean, with all of these retrogrades in place, we're supposed to be learning something, right? Clearly. I mean, clearly you heard what all of those retrogrades were about. All in conjunction with one another. So it's kind of, it's kind of a time of learning, I'd say. So let's ask the cards if for the most part, we as humanity have been kind of learning this lesson. Have we been learning? Or have we been stuck in ego? Right? And stuck and not really learning or tackling our challenges as they're given to us. So let's just see. Have we been learning our lessons as, what these retrogrades are here to teach us? Well, sadly, not in the moment. So, what we do know is, and this is the majority. I asked for humanity. This is humanity kind of learning what these retrogrades are here teaching us in this 5 year and, with everything else that's going on. And a lot of times it takes us living through it and then integrating that information in later or getting through the hump of it and then integrating it later. And so we might not learn in the moment, but we're able to learn later. So basically what these cards are saying is that no, the majority of humanity is not learning what these retrogrades are teaching us right now. It's basically saying no. It's saying no, we're not really looking at ourselves. We're not really looking at the truth. We're not really looking to see clearly. We're not really doing that stuff in the midst of these retrogrades. Like I said, a lot of times that will come in later, right? So the Wheel of Fortune is driving the whole thing. So, it's like it's a universal energy trying to teach us some stuff. And we're just not really looking. We're not really looking at all. We are, we're in ego mostly. And I'm not saying that's you or me, or I'm talking mass consciousness, right? So, because we're, this is a mass thing. So don't take this personally. This is an overview of what's going on mass consciously, okay? So yeah, don't take it as a slight, but of course we can always think about this and see if there's any place in this that, we do fit into. What haven't we looked at? What haven't we dealt with, right? It doesn't mean we're ignoring everything, but so basically we've been in a lot of ego. The mass consciousness is stuck in ego. And what they're doing is they're listening to things, sort of almost like a brainwashed effect. And, so mass consciousness isn't getting in touch with self, which is what one of those retrogrades is all about. Getting in touch with self and not being like manipulated. So swords are intellect, right? And then as you can see, the moon is blowing down onto this person's head because like it's mind control, right? So people are stuck mostly in ego. That's ego. Ego is strength. Essence is soft. Essence is nurture. Essence is forgiveness and love and compassion and empathy and all of those things. And ego is just, I'm right, you're wrong. And like hard lines and just like bucking up because you're so right that you're going to be strong in this, or, so that's what we've been in. We've been in ego, and that's the higher arcana. That's that strength, that ego. And, there's just been a lot of mind control, and people aren't really getting in touch with who they are and what they really feel or think. So that's interesting, right? And then, to the side of that, there's just been a lot of tricks out there, and people would rather be in ego than to see clearly. The Magician. And that's what one of our retrogrades is about, is to see clearly. And so we're just stuck in ego. We're not seeing clearly. So no, we're not seeing clearly. There's a lot of mind control, not wanting to look at our feelings, which is what one of the retrogrades is about. And then, kind of ignoring the things that are just under the surface. So, when you're sitting on a shiny pond and it's like you're gonna troll, you're gonna fish, and you're gonna troll for fish, and the pond's really still, and you look and you can see below the surface. You can see clearly. You can. It's right there just below the surface. And you can see it. But instead of us doing that, we're kind of sleeping on the job. Just, stuck in that ego, not wanting to see clearly because it probably goes against what we think we know, or what we think we believe, or what we think we feel, instead of actually feeling our way through that. And then the Page of Pentacles, it's like, you're ignoring all the things around you because stuck in ego. So yeah, no, we're not right now. Some are, obviously. This is like, is humanity. So no, the masses right now are still stuck in ego, and they're not really getting the lessons that all of these retrogrades are teaching us. But like I said, a lot of times we learn after the retrograde, right? Because that gives us time to integrate. So for people that are doing their work, their spiritual work and their emotional work and stuff, I'm sure they're not oblivious to everything. And like, I know I'm doing my work, and there's stuff that I'm clearly picking up on about myself and understanding about myself, and things I'm trying to learn, and things I am learning. Actually, it's not things I'm trying to learn, it's things I am learning. But there's some integration for me of completely new things. And when it's completely new and there's been no contrast, it's a little bit of work, to integrate it and really get my own feelings around it. Like, going through these shifts, it's like, okay, so I just shifted. How do I really feel about that? That's some actual work. So some of us are doing our work and we're getting pieces of it, and we'll continue to get more pieces as time moves on. We may have everything put together by next year at this time within ourselves. And we may have most of it put together by next year this time, and may not. And it may happen faster than that for some. But right now, in the midst of the retrogrades, no, the message is being missed. And that comes from a place of reaction rather than action, right? So reacting rather than acting. Really, it's being conscious. It's trying to be consciously aware of our behaviors, our words, our thoughts, why we're are we reacting to someone? And if we are, why? Why are we reacting? And, if someone seems to be reacting about whatever to us, are we making a conscious effort to act or react? All of those things. I mean, life's work when you want to be happy. If you don't care about really truly being fulfilled and incredibly at peace within and happy, then we don't have to do any of the spiritual work or the emotional work. We can just go through life complaining about the same old song and dance from the time we're old enough to complain until the day we die. But that's personally not what I'm here doing. That's not what I'm here doing. I'm wanting to learn and grow and make my life better and better by doing so. But some people won't do that. Some people will have that same process. It's their journey, right? So let's get a positive affirmation. Healing heart. You're a powerful healer, so keep up the great work. So whatever it is that you guys are doing, to be positive in this time of great negativity and contrast and turmoil and division and, all of those things. Know that you've just been validated and you're a powerful healer, so keep up the great work. And let's all just try to stay self-aware and, let's just stay self-aware and keep projecting positive things and try to be conscious and not waste our time reacting to people that may be just reacting, because it's really not worth it. It's just not worth it. It takes a lot of energy from us. Energy that we could be putting into doing something constructive to make us feel better, doing something constructive with our family that helps them to feel better, sending some healing out into the world, to the planet, planting a tree, anything besides engaging in negativity. Because we've been asked over and over and over again throughout this entire almost 2 years now to be positive and to be the change that we want to see. So let's keep striving for that, right? All right, you guys. So I hope that you've been surviving these retrogrades, and I hope that you haven't had too many people say mean things to you. And if you have, ignore it. People are just reacting. Sun's going in. Things are getting dark in here. People are just reacting, and they may not even realize it. They may not even realize they're reacting. Most people aren't consciously aware of that, so try not to take it personal. Keep your vibration up. Make sure you dance, you laugh, you use your tools, right? See the people that you love and have a good time with. Do things that make you feel good. Stay positive. Stay in that love vibration. You've probably all heard me say a time or two that even when I'm really, really mad, especially when I'm really, really mad, when somebody's really ticked me off, I send them love. I send them love. And I do that because it's good for me. It's better. It feels better to me to send them love than to get all wound up and really mad about it, because I have a temper. I can really get my panties in a twist. So it just feels better for me to do that. And then, you know, it might even help them too, right? So just stay in that place of love, because love heals all. And until next time, which I'll be coming back next week, I think, for the full moon. But until next time, these retrogrades are going to end in January, and some of them are ending now, and some of them already have. So there is a rainbow shining there off in the distance. There really is. We're coming into that 6th year. So let's project that 6 years positive energy, that birthing something new and something really beautiful. All right, until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you. All right.